Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to challenge a really popular idea, this whole concept of what it means to find yourself.
You've probably heard things like this a million times, right? It paints this picture of spiritual enlightenment as this, peaceful, gentle walk into the light, all soft focus and blissful.
But what if that's not it at all? The sources we're digging into today flip that idea on its head. They reframe awakening, not as some happy discovery, but as a total, and often pretty traumatic, collapse of who you think you are.
Okay, let's get right into the thick of it. To really get this, you have to completely change how you think about that first moment. We're not talking about a gentle awakening here. Think more like a violent rupture.
So the source material we're looking at calls this moment a massive, destabilizing crisis. It's not about peacefully seeing the light, it's more like the raw voltage of reality is just too much for your nervous system to handle. And this shock, this existential jolt, actually has a clinical term that really nails it: moral injury.
And this is a really, really key distinction. This isn't like fear-based trauma, PTSD, which is about something bad happening to you. A moral injury is what researchers call a truth rupture. It's a fundamental break in how you understand the world, what's right and wrong, your whole place in it. It's like your entire map of reality just gets ripped to pieces.
Okay, so if this awakening is a rupture, then what exactly is breaking? What's the thing that shatters? Well, according to these sources, it's the self we've built, the person we think we are. The research we're exploring here doesn't paint the ego as some kind of spiritual bad guy you have to defeat. Instead, it's seen as something much more practical, like a suit of protective armor. It's a psychological shield we build from two really powerful emotions, all just to help us survive and get by in the social world.
And the absolute core material of that armor? It's shame. And check out this crucial distinction from researchers like June Tangy. Guilt is about behavior. I did something bad. Shame, though? Shame is structural. It's a belief about your identity. I am bad. See the difference? It's not about what you did. It's about who you think you are. And that's the very foundation of this mask.
Now, on the flip side of that shame coin, you have pride. But it's not so simple, right? Because there are two kinds. You've got authentic pride, the good stuff you feel from actually achieving something. But then there's hubristic pride. And that is the ego's shield. It's the arrogance, the defensiveness, all designed to keep that fragile, shame-filled core from ever seeing the light of day. So this whole intense, disorienting experience, it might sound like a bunch of mystical jargon, but it's not. It's actually a recognized clinical phenomenon, and it has a really long history.
Yeah, this idea that the spiritual path can include a major crisis, that's nothing new at all. It's been documented for centuries, actually. It used to be called the dark night of the soul. And more recently, clinicians like Stanislav and Christina Grof gave it a modern name: spiritual emergency.
And this timeline is fascinating. It shows you the whole journey of this concept, from something talked about in contemplative traditions way back with St. John of the Cross, all the way to becoming a modern clinical reality. I mean, getting it added to the DSM, the official handbook for mental disorders, that was a massive step. It was basically the medical world saying, hey, a spiritual crisis is a real thing that people go through, and it deserves support, not just being written off.
So here's the takeaway. These experiences are absolutely real, and they are scientifically documented. There's this huge study back in 2017 by Jared Lindahl and his team that cataloged all the difficult things meditators were going through. And we're not talking about small bumps in the road. These are deeply destabilizing experiences that can make it hard to just, function in your daily life. Okay, so if this whole process is so hard, so traumatic, so completely destabilizing, you've got to be asking, what's the point? Why would anyone go through all this?
Well, it's all about rebuilding. The goal isn't just to tear things down. It's about shattering a brittle, fake self, a performative identity, so that something real and authentic can finally be built in its place. It's a deep repair of your entire operating system for how you see and experience the world.
You can really break this path down into four main stages. It all kicks off with that initial rupture, that shock to the system. Then it moves into the really painful part, the annihilation of that ego armor. After that comes the hard work of repair, which is all about building up your ability to experience reality without filters. And where does that all lead? To a state of authentic presence.
So at the end of the day, what's the big payoff? It's a complete shift in how you relate to reality itself.
You're moving away from what the sources call performative intelligence, basically living your life like a performance to keep that shame hidden, and you're moving toward original innocence, a state where you can just be with what is without all the filters and defenses.
So the question is, what really happens when you stop performing and you just start experiencing? The sources we've looked at today suggest the path to get there is no walk in the park. It's a crisis, for sure, but it's a crisis with a purpose, to lead you to a more direct, unfiltered, and ultimately, a more authentic way of being. Definitely something to think about.